everyone, welcome to Ahval. We are here with Kenny Laurie, UK-born Istanbul expat. Kenny is a teacher and founder of Istanbul Comedy Club. Hi Kenny, thank you for being here.
Hi, no worries.
All right, so can you tell us about the Istanbul Comedy Club?
Um, well, it's the first English language comedy club, specifically in Istanbul. It holds about 60, 70 people. We were having sold out crowds a couple of times a week, until obviously we've had to shut it down over the last week or two. And it's a space where lots of local performers try out their stuff, or established groups. If for new performers, we'll come and try out new material. If there's stand-ups or new groups have emerged since the creation of the club, because it's much cheaper to perform in, and it's become as much of a community space as well as a performance space.
Right, because when I last met you, you were performing with the improv group, the Clap, at Yota.
Yes,
Yeah,
and we've moved. Yes,
how,
everything was moved from there to the comedy club.
and how did you find the Clap actually?
How did I find the move?
No, how did you find the Clap?
The clap. Well, I didn't found the clap myself, but it was basically quite a few years ago. There was kind of a roaming band of performers who were looking to start a group, and several stillborn groups were founded, and then finally one cohered with the clap and Ephemerata, sort of two mutually beneficial groups.
Excellent. And the Clap was performing twice a month, every other Friday.
Yes.
And it works the same way at the ICC.
Yes, works the same way at the ICC. Yeah, but a new improv group has been founded who perform once or twice per month on Saturdays. So now it's
Okay.
more or less every week there's an improv show of one description.
Okay, and what other? You said there were other kinds of performances like stand-up, magic shows, music.
Yeah, magic shows, hypnosis, like comedy hypnosis shows. We had one there that was great fun, which Jason did. Yeah, stand up. We've had plays there. I did an original play with some friends last year that was done in the comedy club before it was named the comedy club, but in the same space when it was
Great.
the top of a bar, the terrace of a bar. We were about to do some podcast recordings up there, some music, variety shows, all sorts of stuff.
Right, and yeah, it sounds like a very rich platform, art-rich
Yeah.
platform. Yeah, and it's above Rasputin Bar, close to
Yeah.
Istiklal. Yeah. Okay, great. So let's talk about what's going on. How long has there been a frenzy of the virus in Turkey?
How long has there been a quarantine for the? Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah. Like, how long have people been staying indoors and being concerned? When did this happen?
Yeah, about 10 days. It was last. The Friday before last. We were told, that schools would be closing and things like that. The social distancing didn't start until maybe 4 or 5 days later. I know that the day the schools closed, we had shows at the ICC. We hadn't sort of been told to stay at home at all times, and people were still hanging out with each other, but in smaller groups. But from about last Tuesday, about a week ago, kind of all events and everything closed, and everyone was told to stay home.
Okay. Yeah, because I personally, I find it really bizarre that, like, not even 10 days ago, it was staying at home all day was and not going outside was a bad thing, but now going outside is the thing that is frowned upon.
Yeah.
So in Turkey, what are people what are people allowed to do, and what are they not allowed to do? What is looked down upon?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, either very soon or it's just been said that basically, everybody has to stay at home, and I think there'll even be like patrols on the street to make sure people are home, and supermarkets will only be open a few times a day. There'll be there'll be people patrolling the streets and making sure that everyone stays at home. The supermarkets will, I think, only be open a few times a week. You have to check that. That was something from the Interior Ministry. Um, at the at the moment, as far as I'm aware, you can still go out and about. There's still a good amount of shops that are open. And there's still quite more people than you would think kind of out in the streets. Um, and but yeah, basically you can't really do anything apart from get a bit of shopping done,
Right.
and maybe run over to someone's house if you so chose to run that
Absolutely
risk.
need to. Right. Um, I yeah. Can you paint a picture of Istiklal? What is it like now? Is it still? I mean, it must be still crowded.
Yeah, I haven't been onto Istiklal for about 2 days, um, so I don't know what it's like right now. But I was really surprised. Last Friday, I went to Istiklal at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was still about as busy as you would expect Istiklal to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't too crowded. I will say people were mainly walking alone. There wasn't like large groups of people like there are
Right.
normally, but there was still a good amount of people on there.
Okay. And were they wearing masks and gloves, or were they was it business as usual?
I would say a minority were wearing masks and gloves.
Okay. And you live with your girlfriend, so do you guys have visitors over?
No, not for a week. We haven't had anybody over.
And you are also not going out.
No, I've gone out to do some shopping and things like that, but that was it.
Okay. And how's your family? Where is your family?
My family's in England. My family's kind of okay because they're all um, they're they're basically based in the countryside, so they've been practicing social distancing for
Oh,
their entire lives. Um, my dad, who lives in a slightly bigger village, what he likes to play golf, and golf is pretty naturally distancing
lots
anyway
of
if you play by
contact
yourself.
sports. Yeah.
Yeah. So they seem to be doing okay. Um, yeah, okay, so most of their business is on the farm and things like that. So their life doesn't change too much.
Okay. All right. Great. And are they worried about you?
No, don't seem particularly. I think they probably stopped worrying about me uh, after I lived in Beirut and things like that. I think they were more worried then. So now this seems small in comparison. But no, they don't seem really worried. I was going to be going on holiday with my dad next week in Vienna, but obviously that's bit that we had to cancel that. Obviously,
Right. Yeah. Postponing or canceling?
cancel, cancel. We got
Sorry.
refund on everything. We'll pick it up another time.
Okay. Are people, what about like other people you know, are they thinking of returning out of panic or staying put?
Actually, it's been an interesting one because there are a few people here at the moment who were people that used to. These are Turks and uh, foreigners who were living abroad, but then came back and they were like, "Oh, I'm just going to come back for 3 months and then go, back to America or wherever they're from." And they are here and they don't seem to be going anywhere. I know of one person who was considering going back home to serve the isolation period, but actually it's kind of yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's kind of locked people. The people I know, it's kind of locked them down into staying here.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember like when I lived in Istanbul, there was always some kind of political tension. We had a referendum, and even
Mm.
during like I heard the women's march was cancelled recently, and so was the queer march last year. So, do you think that like, and you mentioned earlier that there are authorities patrolling the streets?
I think will soon to be, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I was wondering if um like that the political fear still exists or if it has been replaced by something else.
It feels like it's been replaced by something else.
Okay.
I'm not an authority on that, but yeah, it seems like there's a bigger issue to worry about, and I think there's probably, from what I can gather from everywhere, not just here, that there's a general understanding with most places that, because it's so unprecedented, you can't necessarily say like, well, this party would have, if my party was in power, they would have dealt with this better, because we
Hmm.
just don't know. It's too
No.
unprecedented.
What about inflation? It was like it was already an issue for a couple of years. Uh,
Yeah.
and is it has the coronavirus virus like pushed it up or settled things down? What about the exchange rate?
Well, the exchange rate is slipping. The dollar gets stronger by the day, though it's not like free falling like it was a year or two ago. Um, the price of food in a lot of places has gone up, particularly like grocery deliveries and things like that. Those prices have gone up on the like Yemek Petty deliveries seem to be kind of roughly the same price. And actually, I thought I'd noticed that in a lot of places they were advertising price cuts. Perhaps the competition between delivery companies has got to a point where they have to cut the prices to beat the competition. I'm not sure, but and obviously, and everything else, I'm not really sure of. And non-essentials, I have no idea what the price is on those because I doubt anybody's really buying them.
No, no, and I'm guessing the Ave Maze, the shopping malls are closed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. And do you think that your like this has affected you differently as an expat than it has the locals?
Um, I don't, I don't know. I don't think this might be one of the few occasions where perhaps it hasn't, because there's. Um, I was thinking about this the other day because I've been here when some not great things have happened, and foreigners are always a little bit isolated from it because they've always got the option of, well, I can go home.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, for me, I think it's probably worse in England than it is here. So I'm not. Um, I think we're basically all in the same. If we're all just stuck at home, then we're all the same. I mean, I'm lucky because I'm salaried, which most expats I know here are salaried or their jobs were remote already. So perhaps more expats are affected less than locals, but I think it's basically the same experience for all of us.
Okay. And I forgot to mention earlier that you've also worked with speech bubbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you directed Snow White in November 2018. Am I correct?
December. Yeah.
December. Okay. And are you still involved with that?
No. I've been working on original plays since then. So I did one last September. Did an original play, which was well received, which is nice. And actually, in the time uh, going into the quarantine, I was working with um, a group of people on a different original play. Not one written by me,
Hmm.
but someone within the community had done an original. We were working on that at the time of the outbreak.
All right. So I'm guessing that has had to come to a halt in the
Yes.
end. Yeah. So what was the first original play about?
It was the theme was community, and the story was it was a real time play. So it was basically one scene in real time, and it was about the impressionist painters in Paris. It was the day. It was set the evening before their first exhibition as a group of sort of rebel artist, one with one of the with the leader of the community leaving the day before the exhibition began. So that was the period, with sort of community being the theme and the message of the play.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I'm sorry I missed it.
Yeah, it was great. It was yeah, you would have enjoyed it, I think.
It was at also at the ICC, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before it was called the ICC, yeah, but
And
same
what
place.
about what about the one you were working on just now? The current
That
one?
was written by Charlotte. If you know Charlotte, I don't know if you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, I know. Lovely
You
woman.
know Charlotte.
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd written one, and that was like a farce, like a comedy farce. Again, like a real, again like a real time play where you watch in the evening, one evening of a few people's lives play out. Like somebody had died and had left a sort of complicated will, and the different people within the family or whatever are all interacting, and so it was like a comedy farce but with an emotional ending.
Okay. I believe your previous play um it was unique in the sense that the audience were sitting around the stage.
Yes.
Yeah, so would this one have also been like that?
No, this would have been this one would have been a conventional, stage and audience situation.
Okay, and when would you have performed it?
It was supposed to be being performed in May, early May, which definitely is not going to happen.
No, no. And so yeah, the ICC, like the regular show, which happens every Friday, it has also been put on hold.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. Do you miss it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Um, I've been working hard to keep myself occupied and not thinking about it too much. And the group are still in touch a lot, and we play D&D and things like that online to keep ourselves busy. But yeah, no, of course, I miss doing it. And it was a shame. We got up a good head of steam, and um, people were enjoying it, and we're getting good response and things like that. So it was ill-timed from our perspective.
Okay, so are you like maybe thinking of an online platform for an audience?
Um, I hadn't been thinking that. It's come across my radar that there were people around the place doing improv online and things like that, which doesn't particularly interest me, to be honest. That might just be because I'm old, a bit of an old man. Um, so I certainly wouldn't discourage anybody else from doing it if they wanted to do it in the group.
Okay,
But I certainly didn't have any plans of doing
right. What about it irks you?
it. It's not that it irks me. I just don't really know. I don't know the mechanics of it. I don't really know
Okay,
how it would work. I heard Zach's brother did a two-man improv show as like a live stream, but even the performers aren't in the same room, so the they're having to kind of communicate together online and then send that out live online, but without the kind of feedback of the laughter and stuff like that. So they're just kind of bobbing around their lounges. Actually, me personally, so I wasn't performing very much by the time this came along. I've been I was more like an MC, so I wasn't really performing too much, and I wasn't thinking I wasn't missing the stage so much that I'd feel the need to put on a live show. But the group has, like, it's not our profession. The group has quite a large range of um, interests and things like that. So I think most of the group have just kind of found other things to do with their time.
okay, all right. Okay, is there anything you would like to add? Anything you would like to tell us about Istanbul or the art scene in Istanbul at the current moment?
Not anything that we haven't gone over already. So things were going really well up until now. There was really good buzz around. Uh, we felt like we were getting lot done, and the space had um, given a lot of opportunities to a lot of people. I I just I just hope that doesn't go away um,
Yeah.
during this period. There's a small part of me that's hoping that when the world opens back up again, when we're allowed back out, um, people might be so keen to make up for lost time that we'll just be having full house after full house for a long time to come. But
I
that
hope
that
so.
might be wishful thinking.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kenny. It was wonderful
No
speaking
problem.
to you.
Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you. Take care. Keep safe.
Yes, you too.
All right. Bye bye.
Great. See you later. Bye bye. Great. See you later. Bye bye. Great. See you later. Bye bye.